have our Government Affairs Chair here. Her name is Carmen Goers. She's a VP at Washington Trust Bank, and she has been my right hand in advocacy for the last 7 years. And so I just want to have you help me welcome Carmen Goers with Washington Trust Bank.
Well, yes, my name is Carmen Goers. I am with Washington Trust Bank. I am a small business banking relationship manager. So my primary focus is working with businesses and business owners that have less than 10 million, 25 or less employees. And generally they have financing needs that are somewhere under $3 million. So it's a kind of a gamut from micro startups all the way to functioning machine shops and things of that nature. So I love working here in the Kent Valley. I've been here for now almost over 25 years, almost 30 years, and so I love calling South King County my home. On government affairs, which I encourage everyone to participate with, we work diligently with our elected leaders here in the city of Kent, as well as in Washington State, and occasionally with our congressman, Adam Smith, who covers this area. Every year, we sit down as a committee and we work with, we try to reach out to our businesses to ask what's pressing to you. What's urgent for you to do that we can advocate on your behalf. And that has been ranging from during the pandemic, how do we keep businesses afloat, how do we keep the 6 feet, how do we do those different things and help you stay engaged with what financial tools are available. We had the PPP loan. I can attest that we kicked out millions of dollars here in South King County, and bankers worked like we had never worked before in that area. I get a yes, right? Yeah, we worked hard during that time trying to get that process done. As we move forward, we've worked on our safety. We generally have a safety forum that occurs generally in the summertime, talking about how we keep our facilities safe, how do we keep our employees safe. We've also expanded that into our cybersecurity conversations around maintaining not just your websites, but your emails and the data breaches that have occurred. And it occurs on small and large bases. As we are a very localized chamber, we partner with the South Sound Chambers of Commerce Legislative Coalition, which is comprised of 7 chambers around us. That would include Covington, Renton, Seattle Southside, Puyallup, Sumner, Covington, I'm missing somebody in there. And we come together in the coalition to advocate as a region for transportation packages, which we've been successful in doing over the years. So once C7 is getting completed, coming into the airport, we had the Triangle that's in Federal Way now. Federal Way was part of our chamber. Oh, I miss Vashon Island. They want to partner with somebody, so they support us in our needs and we support them in theirs. As we've moved forward, so within the coalition, I sit as the vice chair, coming in for the next 2 years on that coalition. So our voices are amplified when it gets down to Olympia. Here regionally, we, as a committee, right now we're working on a couple of things. Starting with the upcoming elections, we sit in the 47th Legislative District. We're comprised of the 47th and the 33rd. We're sitting right now in the 33rd Legislative District. We have parts of the 11th as well to our north. And so we will be working on not a summit, and not a candidate debate, but some type of forum to introduce our candidates post the primary sometime in early or to mid-October before ballots drop. Right now, we are also working on our legislative priorities. And so a few that we are working on that the coalition may enact. Let me back up a little bit. So the coalition, we look as a region, what do we want to promote? And then we as a chamber have our own priorities. So we have kind of 2 sets that we work with on 2 fronts. For the chamber, we're focused this upcoming year on modernizing and streamlining the business permitting process. We have a lot of business owners, and permitting can go from needs of your property permit, your business license permits, working with employees in different areas of that, and making it more streamlined to focus. Another area of complaint that we've heard and are looking to address is funding court staff to support arbitration and timely dispute resolution. So as business owners and business people, a lot of times we don't need to go to full litigation, but you do need arbitration. And right now that requires some staffing that's not currently there to make it more efficient. So instead of waiting 6 to 9 months for arbitrator to even be assigned to start, we want to streamline that because that is a cost of doing business, and we can minimize those expenses if we can find a way for that. And then the third part, which is really an underlying issue to what we have here in Kent. Many are aware that we lost our Fred Meyer at the top of the hill. And there's many reasons that Fred Meyer pulled out of that area. But one thing that a lot of business owners are feeling is the significant cost of rise in insurance premiums to maintain your business, whether it's property insurance, whether it's car insurance, whether it's liability insurance. If you're being vandalized on a regular basis, our marijuana shops have had ATMs ripped out several times. There's a point where your insurance becomes prohibitive, and therefore the area becomes a business desert because we can't find insurance coverage for that area. So we're working to find ways to attack that and address that and figure out who we can work with to make those make that more reasonable here in South King County and specifically in Kent. Our next meeting is on Thursday, August the 8th. We meet 8:30 in the morning online via Zoom. This meeting we are having our Senator Orwell and Senator Kaufman from the 47th and 33rd. They have started a flood caucus in the state Senate to address how do we bring those flood resources based on what happened last fall. So they're going to come talk to us about what's going on, what they're looking to do, how that will impact us, and how we can be a resource and or give feedback to what they're trying to do to make sure that it has the proper impact that they're looking for. So those are the basic cores of what our government affairs team does. We're small but mighty. We meet in person maybe once or twice a year, I think, so far. But we also put together the events. One of the events I'm proud of is the Civics Bee. And the Civics Bee is reaching out to our middle schoolers and talk about what's important to them. And we've been, proud to have sent 3 each year to the state finals. In last year in 2025, our state, I think she took first in our first in state. So she took third with us, right? First with us, third in state, second in state, third in nationals. I knew it was 1, 2, 3. Went by. Yes. Oh yeah. But she was also on the Today Show, I think. She had to send the Today Show, and so she was a middle schooler. Her parents are always befuddled, like, oh my gosh, this child of ours going to a school. She's now finished her 9th grade. She's going in 10th grade this coming year. But that's what we're working on, getting that civic engagement and getting their voices out there to empower them. So we're really proud about that. That was our 2nd year. We're coming into our 3rd year. It's going to get better and brighter with that as we go along. I encourage you to engage with government affairs. We are a fun little team as well. You laughed at me? No, I'm kidding. But our goal is really to be the voice, the advocacy voice of our businesses in the community. And if you are the only if you're the only industry represented, then we can hear what that industry needs. Occasionally, we'll put calls out for feedback when legislature is doing something. For example, in about 2 weeks, the city is having a conversation about the revitalization of downtown. And we're going to have to review that and have a comment. How does it impact us? Are there any unintended consequences that maybe weren't considered? They won't know if we don't speak. And so that's where government affairs comes in. So you don't have to do a lot, but everyone does a little, and we can be a really, really big voice. And that's what I hope to impart upon you. So with that, I'm not sure if there's Q&A. I'm looking, she's walking away. Are we doing Q&A, or are we just going to move to the next part? Q&A is good. So if there's any questions, I see hands moving. I'm looking at you. You got nothing? Okay. I'm sure she did. No questions? Yes. So the question was, what do you think the main priority will be of legislators in this upcoming legislative session, which starts in January? A lot of that will depend on how the vote goes in November. If the Democrats are able to maintain their majority, we're going to see additional taxes because they're already talking about we're in a shortfall for the 3rd session straight. As you watched over the years, there's a debate regarding the new income tax that will be on the ballot this November. So depending on how that goes, will strictly determine how the budget goes, the amendments go in the next legislative cycle. There are things that are not monetary that we have to watch out for. And by that I mean they don't make the big news. So the income tax made the big news. One thing that didn't make the news was last year there was a bill that would require employers that had 5 or more employees to offer retirement plans. And it's like, where's that money going to come from? There's also an implementation that it would require medical coverage, employers to offer medical at 5 employees or greater. Well, if you don't offer, say your spouse has insurance and so you get insurance over there, they want to force it upon you. And as an employer, you can't ask, why don't you want my insurance? It could be it's too large. It could be they could be on Medicaid. They could be doing different things. And if they opt for a Medicare or Medicaid plan, as an employer, you can't ask why. That screams HIPAA violation. Well, there's contradictions, but that was a bill that was presented that's supposedly coming back. And so we will be watching that as well from our insurance and our small business owners as well. So we do partner with, we have a lobbyist, and so she helps us greatly. Praise Jesus for that woman, because every year there's like almost 10,000 bills we have to cycle through, and it gets down to maybe 5 to 10 that we really have to be concerned about, but don't know what they are until you go through that 10,000. So she does that greatly. And then the second part is we work with the Association of Washington Businesses that helps us understand where we need to make moves and where we need to show up. And that's where I will implore, when you get that call to action from the chamber or that phone call that we sometimes make, it's because we need different voices and we need people to chime in that says it's important. If you may or may not recall, about it's pre-pandemic, so maybe 6-7 years ago now, there was a bill that would require all hairstylists to be employees of the salon as opposed to renting the chairs. Well, they all said, oh, no, thank you. We want to be independent contractors. And they showed up in Olympia on a Monday, thousands of hairdressers to say, no, thank you. And that bill came out of the 33rd from Senator Kaiser at the time. So us showing up in volume when appropriate really is impactful and does help change what does move through the legislature on that side. Any other questions? Curious points? I don't live this stuff. I'm really a banker who loves numbers, but here I am on that side. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Heidi Isle, and I just want to say that I'm here representing Washington Saves, which is the retirement legislation you talked about that went into effect. It's actually 2024.
2024, okay.
And the program will be rolling out July 2027, and it's really meant to address the 3 reasons that employers say they don't offer a plan, which is administrative burden, liability, and cost. It's supposed to be a low burden program. We're just asking employers to facilitate access to help their employees have access to an individual retirement account and be able to set up that payroll deduction to be able to save for retirement, because there's 1.2 million people in the state who work very hard and don't have access to retirement through work. So it's meant to be a low barrier option for employers. And there is a threshold, as you mentioned, around it's 10,400 employee hours or 5 full-time employees. But we do have a booth down there. If you have questions, you want to talk to me about it, please.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to you and tell you more about it.
And exactly, because when I'm a business banker, and so when I work with employers, they're like, I don't know my retirement plan, and that's a struggle in the course of what happens all day. So like you said, you get both sides of it, and that's what we're here to help you understand, and how does it impact your business, and speak up accordingly on that component to it. A fair statement?
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, sir? Oh, you're okay. Every time I see a body movement, I jump on you on that side. Everyone stood still really quietly now. All right, well, with that, my name again is Carmen Goers. I'm the Committee Chair for Government Affairs for the Kent Chamber of Commerce, and it's been my pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you.